Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and I'm going to be talking about my matchup for week number 3 of season number 3 in the Ultimate Battle League. My opponent is Frosted, coach of the Copenhagen Sawsbucks. You can see her roster over on the right of your screen. It's a very scary roster. She did also make the playoffs last year, so we have our work cut out for us right here. You can see my 6 Pokemon at the top of your screen. I will be going over her roster first, and then we will talk about my 6 Pokemon one by one. So let's get started with her roster right here. She has Kartana. Kartana has a really interesting matchup because it's forced out by a lot of my offense that outspeeds it. Mega Latios, Crobat, Selgor, and Weavile can all run fire-type moves or even just regular coverage to go ahead and knock that thing out. Even HP Fire Weavile does a lot to it, so Kartana is really not that great right here. Against a lot of the stuff that doesn't outspeed, for example, well, a lot of my mons that don't outspeed Kartana, for example, Manaphy, Cobalion, Rotom Heat, and my Granbull right here, which would all be things it wants to Wall Break. I could just run like Resist Berries paired with HP Fire, and I could just knock that out too. For example, Rando Berry HP Fire, Manaphy could lure it, Chople Berry for the Sacred Sword on Cobalion plus HP Fire could lure it. Even Babiri Berry HP Fire on Granbull is very cool right here, which I am actually bringing, spoilers. So she really has a tough time with Kartana. I really don't think it should come, but I don't know what route she'll opt for right here. She has Zapdos as her second Pokemon. Zapdos is really annoying. I hate Static Para just because it kind of relies. It just makes the game come down to luck a lot of the time, and it's really hard to pivot into Pokemon that would otherwise not want to get Static Paralyzed. For example, my Mega Latios right here really needs to not get paralyzed this week. I do thankfully have a Heal Bell around my draft, which I am bringing this week, so in case the status does get out of hand, I can go ahead and Heal Bell all those status pairs off, and we should be good to go right here. But I for sure think she needs 2 coverage moves on the Zapdos. I think those 2 coverage moves have to be either Thunderbolt and Heat Wave or Thunderbolt and U-Turn. I think U-Turn is great. It can go ahead and pivot out on Pokemon like my Latios that would otherwise pivot in pretty safely right here. I could see Substitute coming too. Substitute could be annoying against Pokemon like my Cobalion, but she does have to be very careful about Rocky MZ Cobalion too, so not quite sure what route she'll go with Zapdos right here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes. Toxic is a very likely bring too to go ahead and wear down some of my bulkier stuff, such as Rotom Heat and Hippowdon, so we'll see right there. She also has Suicune, which she did pick up after my week 1 opponent dropped it, in case you are wondering why I'm facing Suicune again right here. Suicune's annoying. I did beat it week 1 using Thunderbolt for my Mega Latios. I don't have the move slots for that this week, and I could see Mirror Coat coming just to go ahead and take on my Manaphy better, so really got to be careful about that. I don't think Calm Mind is a very smart bring against me just because Manaphy does get access to Heart Swap. And if I were to hard swap those boosts away, she's just going to have a very tough time, especially if I have a Resist Berry on my Manaphy right here. So I'm going to have the Calm Mind boosts, obviously, if she does opt to bring that and I do hard swap them. But I'm not bringing hard swap, I'm actually just bringing Tail Glow because it does 1v1 and 2. Just got to be really careful about Mirror Code, make sure that it's in range before I click that. But it's also a cool pivot into Pokemon like my Weavile and my Hippo. Could be Toxic, it could also have Roar, so lots of options with Suicune right there. I definitely am expecting it to come. She has Donphan. I don't think Donphan has a matchup here at all. It's blown away by Special Cobalion, and Cobalion is like the one thing it might otherwise be able to shut down. Mega Latios, Manaphy, Weavile, Rotom Heat, and all my other offense does at least like 70+% to it with their stab, or just super effective hits, for example, Mega Latios' Ice Beam. So Donphan is like very mediocre speed control right here, as well as Hazard control, so I don't think she's going to bring it. She has Incineroar, which Incineroar is really annoying. It's one of the better Pokemon that can respond to my Mega Latios. She actually brought a very cool set last week that she won with using Z-Snatch, so I made sure to put speed control on my roster for that, because Fire plus Dark coverage actually doesn't do terrible against my team, so I want to make sure I can outpace that +2 Z-Snatch set, but it could also be Assault Vest just to help out against my Mega Latios. Intimidate could help her take on attacks like Earthquake, so Incineroar is for sure a bring right here. I think U-Turn and Knockoff are very good utility options to get her into Pokemon like her Zapdos. Knock off my Resist Berries, which would otherwise open up the path for other Pokemon. I'm definitely expecting Incineroar, like I said. She also has Zygarde 10. Zygarde 10 is her second of 2 Z-move user Pokemon right here. Zygarde 10 is for sure annoying. 1000 Arrows is very spammable against my team. In fact, I don't think I have a resistance to that attack. I could be wrong right here. I don't know if I remember if Bug resists ground. If so, a Selgor does switch into that, but Granbull can pretty easily take it on right here. It is a Z-move user though, so I definitely have to be careful about the Z Iron Tail after a Dragon Dance, or even just a neutral Z Iron Tail, because obviously Intimidate will go off from Granbull, so just something I did have to keep in mind right here. But Granbull does pretty much shut it down. I do have, I'm just going to spoil it, I do have Babiri Berry on my Granbull just to be able to take that Z Steel, as well as maybe the hit from Kartana. I can go to an HP Fire the Kartana too, but more about that when I get into my team. She also has Hariyama, which she did bring Trick Room Hariyama. I'm pretty sure she brought Trick Room plus Hariyama, with Mega Diancie in one of her games. I think it was week 1, so just got to make sure I do have good fighting resists, which Mega Latios can take. It does get access to smoke moves like Ice Punch, though, and Knockoff, so just got to be careful. Grand Bull is another Pokemon that can pretty easily switch into Hariyama, so it's not the biggest threat. Lanturn is annoying because my best pivot would be like Mega Latios, and Discharge or T-Wave is something that could be really annoying against that Pokemon. Like I said, I do have Heal Bell, so the double electric is going to be shut down regarding status right here, but Volt Switch momentum into Pokemon like Kartana, Zapdos, and especially the Zydog, if it is banned at 1000 Arrows, is going to be very threatening this game, so just got to make sure I don't give her all those opportunities to do that right here. But Lantern's really just going to be throwing off T-Waves, Toxics, maybe Scald Burns, Volt Switch. It's really one-dimensional, and I know what it's going to do. We'll see, though. I don't know if she's going to bring it or not. She has Vileplume. Vileplume has an unmatched ship right here. It's completely shut down by Cobalion. I guess, like, maybe Sunny Day Chlorophyll could do something, but even then, Rotom Heat's overheat's just getting boosted, and, like, a little bit of bulk on Rotom Heat ensures that it can take 2 Sludge Bombs. I don't think Vileplume is smart. Bring right here. She has Metang, which Metang is also not really that smart of a bring. Rotom Heat, once again, just shuts it down. Hippowdon can take Meteor Mashes for all day. Even Mega Latios doesn't get 280 KO'd, man, if he outpaces it. It's not good speed control right here, so I think Metang should be left off the board just like Vileplume. And then finally, probably one of her biggest threats right here, Mega Diancie, because it does speed tie with my Mega Latios, which is always scary. I hate having games come down to speed ties, however, Moonblast is also just very spammable against my team. There is a Pokemon on my team that I can invest to take 2 Moonblasts though, which would be its strongest option. I don't think Mega Diancie gets a Grass Knot. I will have to double check on that. I've used it quite a few times, and I don't think it does, so we'll see. But that's going to be her roster right here. If I had to predict the 6 that come, I would say Zapdos, Suicune, Incineroar, Zydog, Mega Diancie, and Lanturn. But I could see like Hariyama or even the Kartana if that's what she wants to do mixed in right there. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into my 6 Pokemon. Okay, so starting off my team right here, we actually have my primary win condition right off the bat. We have Dragonet's mixed Mega Latios right here. This thing does really well against her team. The Dragonets allows me to go ahead and OHKO Pokemon like Mega Diancie with the Earthquake, which is really great right here. And against everything else, we'll just have coverage for right here. We have Ice Beam for the Kartana, Zapdos, Psychic for the Suicune, Ice Beam for Donphan, Earthquake does hit Incineroar as well. That's also why I do have a bit of attack investment in there, because if she does bring like a really bulky, intimidated Incineroar after 2 Rock Switch-ins, +1 Earthquake will always knock that out right here. Ice Beam the Zydog, Psychic the rest of them, and then obviously Earthquake for the Metang right here. So really solid bring right here. The plan is just get up rocks, try to wear down everything into range of this, and ideally I can find the opportunity to get that Dragon Dance up with the Gateway this week and pick up a little sweep. So that's the plan right here. Let's go ahead and get right into some of my pivots, being the Lex 3 Pokemon, starting off with my Granbull. Okay, so the first of my 3 pivots on the team right here is Granbully, my Granbull. We have Berry HP Fire, which is obviously there for the Kartana. That's also the reason why I have a minus speed nature. If I were to minus my special attack, if she brings no bulk Kartana, which she kind of has to just because she needs the speed for my Cobalion, I would actually be a roll with the HP Fire, where in this case with the not minus special attack, HP Fire will always knock that out. So ideally that lure can work out. Like I did say, we have Heal Bell on this team just because she has so many electric types that could spread paralysis. Static on Zapdos, Discharge on Zapdos, Thunder Wave or even Discharge on Lanturn could be annoying too, so I really need that utility right here. Toxic is great against Pokemon like Suicune. I just have to be very careful about it subbing up, but I have other responses to Suicune too. It's mainly here just to get off on Pokemon like Zapdos. Even Donphan getting worn down by Toxic could be great because I do want to break that sturdy for the Ice Beam and ensure that it's broken all the time, so Toxic can go ahead and help out right there. Play Rough is a very spammable attack, but Berry, like I did mention when going over her team, also helps out against the Zydog. It is a Z-move user, and I want to make sure I can take that Z-Steal in case Dragonite Zydog does get out of hand. This can also just eat up Bandit 1000 Arrows. I'm pretty sure it does like 33 max, so I can come in 3 times on those and just be fine right here. So Granbully is really just here as a support mon. Main switch into the Zydog, get those heal bells off, and make sure that my paralysis goes away. Let's go ahead and move on to my Hippowdon. Okay, rounding out the first half of my team right here, we have Sloth, our Hippowdon, which is coming for the 2nd time this season. We're actually running a mono attacking set again, just like the first time. We only have Earthquake right here. We have Toxic as our other way to wear down bulkier Pokemon, such as the Zapdos. Ideally, Suicune, if it pivots into this, we can Toxic before the sub goes up, and we can go ahead and be good to go from there. Obviously, Suicune could carry Rest, so I just gotta keep that in mind. This is also my best Mega Diancie response. I was looking for a Pokemon that could go ahead and take 2 Moonblasts from the Mega Diancie. This can take it with the investment that I have. It does like a max of, I want to say 43, because I wanted to take it with the leftovers plus rocks too, so I can take on Mega Diancie if I need to, just slack off any damage it wants to do and be good to go from there. And yeah, hopefully Sloth can go ahead and wall that. It's mainly here for the Mega Diancie, but it is also my rocker for the week, so we can get up rocks on Pokemon like a Zapdos, maybe get a Toxic going on them. Just want to be careful that I don't rocks up on the Mega Diancie, because it will just go ahead and bounce back to my side of the field right here. So that's going to be Sloth, my Hippowdon. Let's go ahead and talk about Rotom Heat. Okay, next up right here we have Roy, my Rotom Heat, which is earning a very Fizz-Def set with Charty Berry HP Steel, which is there for the Diancie. I wanted another lure for Diancie. In the rare scenario where my Hippowdon does get crit by Moonblast and she 2-hit KOs it, I really want another failsafe for the Diancie, so the game isn't just over from there. She like rock polishes up, for example. So we have the Charty Berry HP Steel right here, but the main thing with Roy right here is it's my main response to the Kartana. Obviously Granbull we do have the lure on, but I can't switch into Granbull on the Kartana by any means, so we can go ahead and pivot into Roy, the Rotom Heat, and take that on just fine. Obviously we don't have fire coverage, but even Volt Switch is doing like 40%, and we can just Volt out of there into something that would check it, for example the next Pokemon being Cobalion, or my Mega Latios, which would outspeed it if it's not Choice Scarf, of course. This is also my Defogger for the team. I figured Defogging could be good, because she does have multiple ways to get up hazards between Metang, Donphan, and Mega Diancie right here. I want to make sure that I keep my team healthy. Even though rocks are a vital part of my strategy, wearing things down for my win condition being Gateway, I want to make sure I don't get overwhelmed by her hazards, of course, so Roy can go ahead and help out. And then Toxic is here mainly just to wear down Zapdos. I actually do believe my Volt Switch will break a substitute from Zapdos. I did put it in the calc, unless she has like a really insane amount of Spidef, so just gotta keep that in mind right there. And yeah, that's going to be Roy. Let's go ahead and get right into my final two Pokemon. Okay, second to last Pokemon right here, we have Pride, our Cobalion. This is a Choice Scarf set with 3 attacks plus Stealth Rocks. I've been stressing how important Stealth Rocks are just to help my Gateway sweep this game. This is pretty much a guaranteed way to get them up, because even though she's not going to put him into Mega Diancie on this, right? I can just go ahead and throw up Choice Scarf Rocks, outspeed pretty much anything on her team. The only things that might outspeed me would be like Choice Scarf Kartana, which I can take her Sacred Sword from, or the Choice Scarf Zydog, which I do eat 1,000 arrows from. So ideally, we can go ahead and get up those rocks, not with this, but with Hippo. But this is a failsafe rocker. This thing is mainly here for speed control. You can look at her team. The only fighting resist she has is Zapdos, and I have great ways to wear that down between Toxic for my Zapdos and my Rotom Heat, maybe even Granbull. So if I can get that Toxic off on Zapdos early, I can just spam close combat late game and be good to go with it right here. So this is kind of like a secondary win condition too. If Gateway doesn't get opened up, she doesn't give me the opportunity for that, but Pride the Cobalion right here does find a position where it can just spam close combat to win the game. Ideally that can work out as well right here. This can also just go ahead and get a justified boost from the Kartana's knockoff. Knockoff would be less than ideal because I would lose my Scarf, but she doesn't really switch into +1 close combat. Stone Edge does also 2-hit KO these Zapdos with rocks up, so that's something I can go ahead and take advantage of as well. And let's go ahead and talk about my final Pokemon being Manaphy. Okay, and rounding out my team right here, we have Ultimate the Manaphy, which is earning a little bit of speed just for the Incineroar. Better to be safe than sorry. I didn't really need the investment anywhere else anyway, so I figured I'd just go ahead and ensure I always outspeed the Incineroar right there. It does reach a max of 123. The HP plus Spidef allows me to go ahead and take 2 Mega Diancie Moonblasts if I can keep rocks off my side of the field. So we have a secondary pivot in right here. Lots of Mega Diancie prep right here. We have Spidef Hippo, we have the Charty Berry on Rotom, and we have this thing right here to be able to sponge 2 attacks. So that's really great right here. The rest is pretty much there in defense, just to go ahead and sponge hits from Pokemon like the Zygarde 10. I can always take any sort of like +1 hit as long as it's not Z Outrage. It also allows me to go ahead and take on Pokemon like Donphan and the Incineroar better right here. This is also my primary way of dealing with the Suicune. I can switch in Energy Ball that thing and make sure that it's not that big of a deal. I can Tail Glow up on that. Ideally she doesn't carry Roar and she carries Mirror Coat, because I can Tail Glow up twice, and I do believe, unless she has like an insane amount of Spidef, my +6 Energy Ball should kill through a Rendo Berry plus the Mirror Coat right there. And then of course we have the Wakan Berry, because I did say that her one fighting resist is Zapdos. It could be cool to lure the Zapdos with this thing. She tries to use it to revenge kill my Manaphy. I just go ahead and Ice Beam that thing and be good to go, because I think she's going to expect Rendo Berry and not want to use the Kartana to revenge this, because she might think that's more important. I can just go ahead and get rid of Zapdos and just spam close combat with my Cobalion for the entire game. So that's going to be my team. Be sure to let me know what you guys think of it down below in the comments section. Would you have opted for something else? And yeah, I will see you guys for the match tomorrow, going live at 10 a.m. Eastern. Later.